The world had gone digital. E-readers reigned. Bookstores dwindled, relics of a bygone era, except one. Hidden on a cobbled side street tucked between a garish pawn shop and a flickering neon sign advertising psychic readings stood the last bookstore. Its sign, faded and barely clinging to the wrought iron overhang, was easy to miss. Most did, not Eleanor. Eleanor, a young woman with a thirst for forgotten lore and a disdain for the cold efficiency of pixels on a screen, found herself drawn to the dusty storefront. She had heard whispers, rumors of a place where stories came alive, where the very air thrummed with the echoes of countless narratives. Intrigued, she stepped through the grimy glass door, the jingle of a forgotten bell announcing her arrival. The scent of aging paper and leather, a smell both comforting and vaguely unsettling, washed over her. She was home. Eleanor wandered through the cramped aisles, her fingers trailing along the spines of forgotten bestsellers and obscure first editions. The silence was broken only by the soft rustle of turning pages and the distant hum of the fluorescent lights struggling to pierce the gloom. She felt a thrill, a sense of discovery that no digital download could ever replicate. It was in a shadowed corner, tucked behind a stack of dusty travelogues, that she found it. A book bound in worn leather, its title absent, its surface etched with strange, intricate symbols. The book hummed, not audibly, but Eleanor felt a vibration against her fingertips, a subtle energy that seemed to emanate from the leather itself. Drawn as much by curiosity as by some unseen force, she pulled the book from its hiding place. Dust billowed around it, swirling in the weak light like tiny, restless spirits. She traced the symbols on the cover, their meaning lost to time and language. They seemed to shift under her touch, writhing like living things. Opening the book, she found the paper surprisingly smooth and cool beneath her fingers. The language was unfamiliar, a swirling script that seemed both ancient and oddly familiar. As she looked closer, the symbols began to make sense, their meaning unfolding in her mind as if she'd always known them. She recognized constellations, astronomical charts, and mathematical formulas that defied explanation. It was the language of the universe whispering its secrets to her. Eleanor found herself drawn back to the book night after night. The bookstore, usually deserted, became her sanctuary, a place where the mundane world fell away and the mysteries of the universe unfolded before her very eyes. She translated more pages, each one revealing a new layer of complexity, a new hint at the power contained within the book's aged binding. The symbols, she realized, were more than just words. They were keys, each one unlocking a doorway to a different world, a different reality. The first door she opened was accidental. Lost in concentration, her finger traced a particular symbol, and with a sudden rush of air, a swirling vortex opened before her. It shimmered, a kaleidoscope of colors and light that seemed to beckon her closer. Hesitantly, Eleanor reached out, her fingers brushing against the swirling energy. A jolt, a feeling of falling, and then she was standing in a forest bathed in the light of 3 moons. Panic gave way to awe. Giant trees, their bark shimmering with bioluminescent moss, reached towards the sky. Strange creatures, unlike anything she had ever seen, flitted through the undergrowth, their eyes glowing with an eerie light. The air was alive with the scent of exotic flowers and the sounds of an alien symphony. This world, born from the pages of the ancient book, was real. Eleanor spent what felt like hours exploring this fantastical realm. She encountered creatures both wondrous and terrifying, each encounter etched into her memory with a vividness that defied explanation. But as the light of the 3 moons began to fade, she felt a pull, a longing for the familiar. Touching the symbol on the book's open page, she was drawn back through the vortex, leaving the fantastical world behind. She stumbled back into the dusty aisle of the last bookstore, the scent of old paper and leather grounding her in a reality that no longer felt quite so solid. The experience left her breathless, shaken to her core, but it also ignited a fire in her, a thirst for knowledge and adventure that she could no longer ignore. The bookstore, once a refuge, now felt like a launching pad, a gateway to infinite possibilities. She devoured the book's pages, each translation revealing a new world, a new adventure. She walked with dinosaurs under a purple sky, swam in crystal-clear oceans on a planet lit by binary suns, even navigated the treacherous currents of the astral plane, a realm of pure thought and energy. With each journey, the line between reality and imagination blurred. The world outside the bookstore, the world of screens and instant gratification, felt increasingly dull and lifeless. The true magic, she realized, lay in the forgotten corners of the universe, in the whispered stories and the hidden realms that awaited discovery. But as Eleanor delved deeper into the book's mysteries, a darkness began to creep into her adventures. The world she visited felt less welcoming, the creatures she encountered more hostile. The book itself seemed to pulse with a growing power, and she felt a strange pull on her own mind, as if the book were trying to exert its will upon her. She began to experience strange occurrences even when she wasn't reading, objects moving on their own, whispers following her in the dark, fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures at the edge of her vision. Fear, a cold and insidious tendril, began to wind its way around her heart.